Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are the West.
Another very hot, windy night at Rangers Ballpark at Arlington as the Rangers close this very brief three-game homestand and try to salvage a victory to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Detroit Tigers. And welcome, Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve. Every night Alexi Ogando starts, we have seen something special just about every single time in his first 11 starts. Tom, no reason to expect anything different tonight.
No, you kind of run out of platitudes to use for Ogando. He's been so good. I like the fact that in 8 of his 11 starts, he's only walked one batter, but that just begins to tell the story. This tells a pretty nice story right here as well. 6+ innings, 2 or fewer runs, 5 or fewer hits in 9 of his 11 starts. That's pretty remarkable.
There is some news around the ball club today, including the paternity leave for second baseman Ian Kinsler. His wife Tess giving birth to a boy, Jack Jameson, earlier today. So with Ian, at least for a day to 3 off the roster, Chris Davis makes his second appearance with the Rangers this year. First pitch coming up, the Rangers and the Tigers next. Game 3 of the series between the Rangers and the Detroit Tigers. We gave you some of the Ranger news today. with Chris Davis up and Ian Kinsler on the paternity leave list. And there is also some news in terms of the Rangers coaching staff. A change made today, and for more on that, here's Emily Jones.
That's right, Dave. Thad Bosley out as the Rangers hitting coach. He was fired earlier today. A tough decision for the organization to make, but one General Manager John Daniels said was necessary for the betterment of the club, and a doubly tough decision for Ron Washington, who of course has a personal relationship with Thad Bosley going back to his days in Oakland.
I was disappointed when someone that has a passion for something no longer have an opportunity to do it. So I'm disappointed, but we felt like we needed to do what was best for us to move forward, and that's what we did.
Scott Coolbaugh, the former AAA hitting coach, now the big league hitting coach, John Daniels says he does not have an interim tag on his name, so no reason to believe why he wouldn't be the hitting coach from here going forward, guys.
All right, Emily, and Tom, as a former general manager, an in-season decision that could not have come lightly or easily.
No, absolutely not. I don't remember in the 10 years that I had that job that we ever had occasion to make that kind of a decision during the season. But I think an organization is always striving to be the best organization it can be, whether or not you're adding a player from AAA, demoting a player to AAA, making a trade to make the team better. And the coaches are a big part of the success of an organization. And so it wasn't something done lightly, but it was something evidently that was necessary.
Well, here is Jim Leland's starting lineup today, and he's changed it all 3 days. Still Austin Jackson leading off, and then Don Kelly. Brendan Bosch, who has been a one-man wrecking crew against Ranger pitching with Cabrera Martinez behind the plate tonight. Andy Dirks, as he was Monday in left field. Peralta at short. Alex Avila gets a half day off DHing, and Ramon Santiago is at second base, and Alexi Ogando ready to deal to Austin Jackson.
11 starts, he's 6-0, only 49 hits in 73 innings. That's why the opponent's batting average is the best in the league at 187. Only given up one extra base hit in his last 4 starts. Unfortunately, it was a 3-run homer.
Jackson swings at both the first 2 pitches of the game, flies out to Craig Gentry out in center field.
The other thing he's done is he's had a lot of success in this ballpark. You go back to last season as a reliever, this year as a starter, it all adds up to a 159 career ERA in this ballpark.
Well, getting Austin Jackson has been a rather difficult proposition in this series. 6 for his first 11. And here is Don Kelly, who played Monday. 1 for 2, a sacrifice and a walk. Brandon Inge, the usual Tiger third baseman, placed on the disabled list with mono 6 days ago. And it's Kelly and Danny Worth manning third base. Worth was the starter last night. Kelly gets a hold of one and sends it very deep down the right field line. It is fair, and it is way out of here. His first home run. 1-0 Tigers.
Well, all you can say is the Rangers picked the wrong time to play the Tigers. That did not look like the kind of pitch that was going to get hit for a home run, although left-hand hitters probably have a better chance of hitting a low inside pitch out of the ballpark, but it's down inside half of the plate, and Kelly just golfed it right down the line. No doubt about that one. The Tigers just continue to pound the ball.
Kelly's first homer this year. He hit 9 last year, and here is Brendan Bosch, who really set the tone Monday night with a 3-run homer in the first and a leadoff home run in the third. That inning, he hit the first of 3 Tiger home runs. Colby Lewis lasting just 3 1/3, allowing 4 long balls.
Ogando now has given up 19 runs. 13 of them have come on his 8 home runs that he's allowed. Not many rallies against Ogando, which is probably pretty evident by a 187 opponent's batting average. I guess the only chink in the armor would be the home runs.
Not many 3-0 counts either against Alexi. 402 feet. That is a poke straight down the line on the home run for Kelly. Well, Bosch, after falling down or up in the count 3-0, swinging away. Look at the numbers in the first two games. 7 for 10, the 2 home runs. All 5 runs batted in Monday, a career high, as were his 5 hits in the first game of this series. So he was swinging to put one where Don Kelly just did. And he pops this one up, but it's going to come well back out of play. Tigers come in with a 4-game winning streak. They've taken 8 of their last 9. And since May 3rd, they are the best team in the major leagues. 21 wins against only 10 losses. Jim Leyland has steered his club, which was down 6 games just a few days ago, to within a game and a half of the Central leading Indians. And this pop-up also out of play, and Bosch stays alive at 3-2. Just over a week ago, the Indians had a 6-game margin over Detroit. But as the Rangers were sweeping Ford in Cleveland last week, the Tigers were heating up. And unfortunately, Tom, for the Rangers, they have stayed hot at the expense of Texas.
Yeah, they're swinging the bats. Just about everybody. When they make contact, it finds a hole, whether it's hit hard or not. Plenty of them have been hit hard. But everything else seems to find a hole as well. That's strike 3, son.
Bosch halfway to first base when he gets the bad news on the appeal at third. Ed Hickox ringing him up, out number 2.
You cannot beat out a check swing. Although it looked like Bosch was going to try to do that. He definitely swung at that pitch. Got him to swing at a couple of pitches out of the strike zone after a 3-0 count.
Now Miguel Cabrera, and he also comes right after Ogando. That appears to be the Tigers' game plan tonight. See something you like on the first pitch, it's probably going to be a strike, so wail away at it. Behind a 97-mile-an-hour fastball here, 0-2. Cabrera 2 for 5 each of the first 2 games. As usual, he is all over the American League leaderboard. Tied for 5th in batting average, 8th in home runs, 3rd in both runs scored and driven in, and 2nd in walks and on-base percentage. One of the toughest outs in baseball. Ogando hoping he would get him climbing the ladder that time. Cabrera swings at very few pitches out of the strike zone. Borderline there, so he went after it and stays alive. Cabrera, one of 5 Tigers with at least 30 runs batted in. They're the only team in baseball that can say that. And that is fair off the end of the bat and past Napoli, who was not expecting him to go right down the line opposite field.
Well, he wasn't trying to anyway. He hit it right off the end of the bat. It's the only reason it went down that way. It's just amazing how many balls that the Tigers are putting in play that are finding holes. That's a slider, probably a little bit outside. Just cues it up right off the end of the bat, and it finds a hole right down the line. Mind-boggling. The last 3 games, how many balls have done that?
So 2 hits here in the first inning. Last night, a season high 20 hits, and the most hits allowed by the Rangers. Monday night, 18 hits. That was the 2nd time in the last 50 years the Tigers had consecutive games of 18 or more base hits. And so far, that seems to be carrying over here. Victor Martinez last night, DHing, had 3 hits, including a double, scored twice. Seven Tigers with multi-hit games last night. 4 of them had 3-hit games, including Martinez. And he is the best in the league on the road. Michael Young has been a big part of that group much of the year. This pop-up looking playable for Chris Davis, manning third, but the wind blows it briefly into the Tigers dugout and then several rows back. Chris Davis getting the start at third base today. With this alignment in the outfield, Hamilton, Craig Gentry in center, Cruz still in right. Elvis Andrus returns at short after a night off. Michael Young taking over for Ian Kinsler at second base. Napoli is at first, and Torrealba is behind the plate. And Ogando thinking he might get a call. Strike 3 with that one. Ed Rapuano calling balls and strikes tonight. Brian Onora is at first. Alfonso Marquez at second, and Ed Hickox is at third.
Could have been a strike. A lot better than it looked to the naked eye.
And that one gets past Torrealba, which allows Cabrera to move up to second base. A very unusual 24-pitch inning for Alexi Ogando. That is a wild pitch.
Yeah, and I think you just have to credit the Tiger hitters. They're all going good right now. They're swinging the bats well. They're fouling pitches off. They're taking close pitches.
It's just the second wild pitch Ogando has thrown this year. But it gets Cabrera into scoring position for Martinez. Waiting for a 3-2 pitch. And off the glove of Napoli, recovers in time to feed Ogando and end the Tiger first. But they get the run on the long blast by Don Kelly. Tigers 1, Rangers coming to bat. Your Texas Ford dealers. By the Progressive Insurance Group. By Jack in the Box. By Citibank. And by Southwest Airlines. Elvis Andrus set to lead off with the Rangers trailing 1-0, and Phil Koch activated today off the DL. He's been there with a bone bruise in his foot. And there's the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. 4-run Washington tonight with Kinsler On paternity leave, Elvis Andrews back to leading off. Gentry moves up to number 2, a show of confidence in Craig with Hamilton, Young, Beltre, Cruz as usual. 3 through 6, Napoli, Torrealba, and Davis, 7 through 9.
Well, Koch has 11 games. First 2 times he pitched was in relief. Then he went into the rotation, spent a couple of weeks on the disabled list along the way. His record doesn't look good at 1-5, but he's pitched much better than 1-5 when you look at his ERA. Hits to innings, walks are really good. Hasn't given up a whole lot of home runs. He was on the DL with a foot bone bruise. Left-hand hitters do not fare as well as right-hand hitters, about a 100-point difference. One of those minor league starting pitchers, for the most part, who became a big league reliever his first couple of years, pitched in 70 games his first couple of years, now getting a shot to be a starter.
And there was a story behind that bone bruise in his right foot. It turns out they discovered that he has an extra bone in that right foot, and it collided with another bone when he hit the cutout between the mound and home plate May 25th, chasing a Ben Zobrist bunt. Playing the Rays. Solid shot. Base hit. Elvis Andrews. As the Rangers try to battle back, keep this one from getting out of hand early.
Elvis has done a great job the last couple of weeks, hitting the ball on the ground or on a line, keeping it from going in the air. Fly balls, getting on top of those pitches and driving them from center field to right center field. Got a lot of hits that way.
Craig Gentry moving up to number 2, seeing his first action of this series. And pops up his bunt attempt. Craig playing for the 20th time, his 13th start. All but 2 have come in center field, where he is again tonight. Up from Round Rock on May 7th, so a little over a month now he's been with the Rangers. And last week got the great news that he would stay even after the activation of Julio Bourbon, with the decision that Chavez and Gentry, with some help occasionally from Josh Hamilton, will handle center field for the Rangers for the foreseeable future. Bourbon remaining at Round Rock. And Tom, a lot of these Rangers have relationships already established with their new batting coach, who is coming up from Round Rock himself, of course, Scott Coolbaugh.
Yeah, well, I would think that would be important if you're going to make a change during the season, to have a coach that you're comfortable with, that you feel can do an excellent job, that the players are also familiar with. A lot of them have gone through AAA with the Rangers recently and had the chance to work with Scott. So I would think that would be a popular choice if you have to make a change among the Ranger players.
Scott in his 5th year in the organization after 5 years as a coach in the Diamondback system.
It doesn't seem that long ago that he came out of the University of Texas as a 3rd round. I think it was a 3rd round draft choice.
3rd round, you are exactly correct. 1987. All-America career for Cliff Gustafson down at UT. Briefly ran his own construction business after his time in the Arizona organization. Now he is the Rangers' major league hitting coach, and not an interim coach. Andrews is picked off and tagged out at second base. Elvis was 19 for 19. The last major leaguer not to be thrown out stealing.
He just made up his mind. The first move that Koch made, he was going to take off. Koch's well aware that he's a threat on the bases. He just kept throwing over there and finally got him.
He had stolen 28 straight going back to the divisional series last fall. Breaking ball, chopped to Peralta at short for out number 2.
Victor Martinez is an offensive catcher. He spends a lot of time as DH. He's also played first base a little bit. in the past. He's not known as a above-average thrower by any means, so I'm sure part of the Rangers' game plan is to run on Martinez. But I'm sure Koch is well aware of that, and he's going to try to make that difficult for the Rangers.
So here is Josh Hamilton with the bases empty and 2 outs, just the way Phil Koch hoped he would face him here in the first. And Hamilton goes after the first pitch, gets under it, and Bosch is there in right field. So despite the leadoff single by Elvis Andrus, Koch faces the minimum 3, and after 1-0 Tigers. Time to welcome Jim Knott.
All right, thanks, Dave. And look at here, a couple of Tom and Dave fans. How about that? How about those Rangers, too, huh? Yeah, there we go. Community Corner tonight, we're talking about Kyle Lewis. Just a sad story here. Last summer, the 7-year-old who loves the Rangers in Little League Baseball died at the age of 7 due to a brain infection, which was caused by amoeba, and that is something you contact in area lakes, Texas lakes. And to find out more about this, log on to kylecares.com, kylecares.com, and you'll know more about this amoeba. Dave?
All right, Jim. Ball 1 to Andy Dirks, leading off the Tigers' second. With a .250 average, it is third home run of the year, 2-run shot on Monday. Dirks up from AAA Toledo May 13th. Major League debut made 3 days later. He had some Chris Davis-like numbers in 34 games with Toledo. Not bad since he's been up with the big league club. Well, this time Ed Hickok says he did not go.
Looked like he dropped the head of the bat straight down to keep it from going through.
Ogando threw 25 pitches in the first inning and starts the second with a rare walk, just the 17th he has allowed in 74 2/3 innings on the year. By contrast, Phil Koch threw 7 pitches in the first. Johnny Peralta 1 for 5 each of the first 2 games of the series. One of the top hitters in the league, batting .314. Best numbers among American League shortstops. 8 homers, 32 runs batted in. Tom, just a couple more thoughts on the Thad Bosley issue. Scott Coolbaugh does not have an interim tag. John Daniels says he is the Rangers major league hitting coach, and that's that. It's his job.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. That's the way it should be. You know, if you think highly enough of your AAA batting instructor to call him up and make him a big league coach, he should be your coach. Evaluate him based on his performance, give him a good opportunity. But I agree with that.
The other thing is, I really enjoyed the time I was able to spend around Thad Bosley. He's a very different personality than the one he followed, Clint Hurdle. Very low key. And Clint is anything but. But very friendly, well spoken, obviously knows an awful lot about hitting. He would never have had the job, and both Ron Washington and JD made that point, that his credentials are impeccable. And both said it's just one of these situations that happens in life where he's right for lots of organizations. Turns out they decided not for this one.
Yeah, and you're right. It is disappointing because Thad's a good man, and he worked hard at his job. And it is. It's disappointing that it didn't work out.
Close tabs on Dirks. Good base stealer. 10 stolen in 34 games this year at AAA. .34 pitches. Ogando's thrown only 19 strikes. Very unlike him, but he gets the call, strike 3 to ring up Peralta, and he gets his second strikeout. First out here in the second inning.
Good low fastball right in the outside corner. Probably not according to Johnny Peralta, but he's not the one with the last word.
That brings up Alex Avila, DHing tonight. Last night, one of those 5 Tigers who had 3 hits, 3 for 5, including a couple of doubles. And what Peralta is for American League shortstops, Avila is for the catching population this year. Leads all American League catchers, batting average, RBIs, second in home runs, third in hits. He had one of the home runs Monday, the third of the third inning, the fourth of the game, served up by Colby Lewis, his 9th of the year. So far, it is a night where Ogando is just forced to adjust, not with anywhere near his usual command, although the velocity is there. He's hitting 97 on the conservative gun here at the ballpark. But he's now at 20 strikes and 17 balls.
Yeah, it's not a matter of velocity. It's a matter of locating your pitch. And it's unusual for him to have command issues, but so far in this game he is, especially with his breaking ball.
Well, falls behind again, 3-0.
And generally in the games where he might not have had his best breaking ball, he was still able to locate his fastball. It's kind of a combination right now. He's not locating his fastball, and he hasn't had his good breaking ball yet either. It's kind of the same situation Colby Lewis was in the first night. Didn't have his breaking ball and didn't have his command of his fastball.
That one's in there. We have seen Ogando probably go 5-6 innings without totaling 18 balls. So to see that in the second is just a very strange sight. But so far he's allowed only the Kelly home run to dent the scoreboard. Worked around the Cabrera single and wild pitch in the first, trying to work around the leadoff walk to Dirks here in the second. And comes back on Avila to fill the count, as he did to Bosch in the first inning, and he ended up striking out Brendan Bosch for the second out of that inning. Alexi Friday at Cleveland in an 11-2 win. 8 innings, 1 run on 4 hits. He walked 1, struck out 6 through 100 pitches. Only run he allowed scoring on a double play grounder. And a strikeout. Should be strike him out, throw him out. Double play if they could finally corner Dirks in the rundown, and he is tagged out by Michael Young.
Out of the baseline. That was not a perfect execution of a rundown play. Fortunately, it resulted in an out.
And Ogando faces the minimum 3. 2-6, 3-4 to retire Dirks. Off with a series against the Astros Monday, June 20th. Join us for the start of the Lone Star Series, and all fans will receive a Nelson Cruz walk-off bobblehead, courtesy of Medical Center of Arlington. For tickets, go to TexasRangers.com. That's a new twist, I think, to the bobblehead. I don't think I've seen the walk-off slant to it. Michael Young to lead off the second inning for the Rangers. 1 for 4 last night, ending in 0 for 19 with an infield single in the 6th inning. And this one up the middle and past the diving Peralta. A leadoff single for the second straight inning for the Rangers off of Phil Coke.
We'll go back and look at the throw out at second base. Not a perfect execution of a rundown. But Dirks is going to be called out right here for running out of the baseline. What determines whether you're out of the baseline? Once the line is established, the base runner's baseline, which is a direct line between the runner and the base he's going to, he could go 3 feet away from that line. And obviously the second place base umpire, Alfonso Marquez, ruled that he was more than 3 feet out of that baseline that he established.
Ball 1 to Beltre. What kept it from being a perfectly executed rundown?
Elvis hung on to the ball too long. You know, ideally, it takes one throw. The runner with the ball runs toward the hitter. The man he's throwing to comes toward the runner, quick throw and a tag out. But the runner avoided the first throw and then was able to get into another rundown. Now he's still out. Where that comes into play, and it's a little bit of a problem, is when there's other men on base and you want to get the rundown as quickly as possible so the other runners can't advance.
Beltre's drive hangs up long enough for Bosch to get there for the first out.
I swear Beltre, I've said this several times in the last couple of days, has hit more than his share of balls hard that have been caught by fielders. And there's another one. That was a well-hit ball on a pitch down and away, exactly how you want to hit it. Lined it to right field. Unfortunately, it's right at Bosch out in right field.
Well, here's Nelson Cruz with 1 out, 1 on, and the Tigers accomplished something that Rick Porcello last night hadn't been done in a while. They held Nelly hitless, 0 for 3 with a walk. That ended his 10-game hitting streak.
If there's, let's say there's a man on base and a batter hits a base hit and they catch that runner in a rundown between second and third, well, the batter is going toward first base. If you get the runner in the rundown quickly, the batter stays at first base. But if he's able to force a couple of throws, then the batter, more often than not, ends up at second base and he's in scoring position. And in a close game, that can really come into play. So ideally, you execute the rundown in one throw. I think Elvis had the right idea, just waited too long to throw it.
Function of still a little bit of inexperience on his part?
No, I don't think so. You know, he's played long enough that that's not, I don't think that's an issue. I just think it wasn't perfect execution of the play.
That drive will slice back into the seats, and it is 0-2.
But the bottom line is they got the out. There was no one else on base, and it really didn't matter.
So Cruz, even after going hitless last night, has lifted his average 41 points over his last 11 games, up to 243. And in a real home run streak, 4 over his last 5 games. In his 15 games off the disabled list, he's hit 7, half of his total for the year, 14. They come in bunches for Cruz. 4, of course, at the very beginning of the season, week 1. Kelly, a nice snag of a high hop, and he starts a 5-4-3 double play. And for the second straight inning, Phil Coke works around a leadoff single. After 2, 1-0 Tigers. Southwest brought to you by Geico Insurance. For 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by AT&T, rethink possible. Well, through 2 innings, Alexi Ogando has thrown 41 pitches, 23 of them strikes. Through 2 innings, Phil Coke has thrown 16 pitches, 7 in the first, 9 in the second. Number 9 hitter Ramon Santiago to lead off the Tiger third. Ogando battling after allowing the home run to the second batter of the game, Don Kelly, to keep it 1-0. Working around a Cabrera single and wild pitch, getting Martinez to ground out with Cabrera in scoring position around the leadoff walk issued to Dirks in the second.
Have some anniversary wishes. James and Betty Hazlitt of Weatherford celebrating their 62nd anniversary today. James and Betty, happy anniversary.
Lash to left, and it falls for a base hit. Next month, baseball's biggest stars will go head-to-head for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event. as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 7 p.m. only on Fox. Austin Jackson for the second time. He fly to center. Swung at both pitches he saw from Ogando in the first. And Tom, it looked like that strategy was based on Ogando's history to date of throwing such a heavy preponderance of strikes. With his control issues here, do you think the Tigers changed that approach?
No, I think you have your own approach at the plate. I think with Ogando, you know that he doesn't walk many people. You may say, I want to hit the first good fastball I see. But just because a guy throws a lot of strikes, that doesn't mean it's an easier proposition if you go up swinging at the first pitch, because a lot of the strikes Ogando's throwing are well located strikes, not easy pitches to hit.
Santiago going on that one.
The main thing that Ogando hasn't had yet is his breaking ball. He hasn't been able to throw his breaking ball for a strike. Now that works to the advantage of the hitter, because he can go up there saying, until he shows us that he's going to have that breaking ball, we're going to look for fastball exclusively. And I think every hitter can kind of sense that a pitcher's having a hard time with his off-speed pitches, and you have a better chance of going up there and getting a fastball.
Well, Jackson fitting in perfectly with the Tigers storyline. He was hot before he got here, and he has remained so with that 5-game hitting streak.
There's a breaking ball. That's what we're talking about.
Ogando still racking up the Ks. That is his 4th. And for Jackson, his 72nd of the year.
That's the Ogando slider right there. Down, lower part of the plate. You combine that with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and you got a pitcher who's 6-0 with a 220 earned run average and a 187 opponent's batting average.
Don Kelly lays down a bunt, and Ogando with the out at first base. Santiago at second base now with 2 outs for Brendan Bosch.
The Tigers have had 3 hits, but Cabrera's hit was just right off the end of the bat, a breaking ball. It snuck past first base. Santiago dumped a little soft line drive into left. Kelly got ahead in the count 2-0. I'm sure he looked for a fastball and got it. And nice hitting for him. He hit a home run. But during the second inning, and certainly here in the third inning, Alexi's looking just like Alexi. He can get a quick out right here. He gets that average pitch per innings down from mid-20s to around 20. You get an out right here on the first pitch, and you got it down to about 17.
And so far, just throwing 8 pitches here in the third, and Bosch goes after the first one.
I want to thank Lana Owens. She sent up some Daisy Dog homemade salsa that she makes herself. Thank you very much, Lana, for that. And a special thanks to Mark Clapp, 73 years old, lives in Amarillo, watches all the games with his twin sister Martha, never misses a Ranger game. Came to the ball game today, stopped in South Lake at a barbecue restaurant, liked his lunch so much he brought us a barbecue dinner from there. Pretty thoughtful.
Oh, and thank you for that stuff. Well, that was great.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Strike 2 to Bosch. Driving in runs at a prodigious rate lately. 5 of those, of course, on Monday. 32 for the year. Bosch adding 22 points to his batting average these last 2 nights. Tigers going for their first sweep of a 3-game series here since May of 2001. A little over 10 years since they've cashed in this opportunity. And a breaking ball foul back. Now, do you see that, especially the slider now starting to come around a little bit for Ogando?
Well, the best one he's thrown is the one to Jackson. That was a good slider, well located. The last one to Bosch was kind of a spinner that stayed up in the strike zone. Bosch just missed it. But he's not off by a lot. He's throwing the ball fine. Just early in the game when he had all those pitches in the first inning, he didn't quite have his command. But yeah, I think it's coming around nicely right now.
Tigers have been trying to get Bosch to relax at the plate. He is naturally very hard on himself, and he says it's a fine line not to be too hard on yourself when you have high expectations, which he says are never going to change. This one has Cruz racing back, but he's got room on the warning track for out number 3. Pretty close to another long ball by Bosch. Rangers have seen enough of that for a long while. Still 1-0. For every game, all-you-can-eat seats include unlimited grilled chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and soft drinks served in the upper home run porch grill. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Yeah, almost as good a spread as the folks give us up here. Ball 1 to Mike Napoli. Phil Koch has faced the minimum 6 through 2, although he has allowed a leadoff single in each of the first 2 innings. Elvis Andrus ended up picked off his first caught stealing of the year. And Michael Young in the middle of an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play off the bat of Nelson Cruz. Koch throwing his 19th pitch. And it is skied and catches a little jet stream backing Austin Jackson all the way to the wall. Close to his 11th home run.
Well, that didn't look like it was going to go that far off the bat, but that's how strong Mike is, and that's how well the ball carries here sometimes to center field. Koch thinks it's a pop-up. Now he's holding his breath. That ball just kept on going and going. Austin Jackson catches it right at the wall. Just missed.
He's ready to show his point guard hang time that he would have taken to Georgia Tech. Didn't have to leave his feet, as it turned out. And here is Yorvit Torrealba, who's picked up things of late. 3 for 8 with a couple of doubles in the last 2 games played. He had last night off. And rips a base hit over Peralta. Rangers with a hit so far in all 3 innings against Phil Koch. And that brings up Chris Davis, who begins his second stint with the Rangers this year tonight. with us at the outset. Davis called up to replace Ian Kinsler, who is on paternity leave.
That's a funny game. There's plenty of times where the Rangers have faced a right-handed pitcher, and Chris hasn't been in the lineup. He gets an opportunity because of the situation with Ian. Not only gets called back to the big leagues, he comes back, faces a lefty, and he's playing third base.
And he faces a lefty who he has already established a great track record against. In just 5 at-bats, he has hit 2 out against Phil Koch. So this is one lefty Chris Davis looks forward to seeing. And happy timing on the part of the Rangers, and that they needed Chris today, and Phil Koch happened to be the Detroit starting pitcher.
That's pretty good numbers against a guy who's tough on lefties.
Yeah, lefties hitting just 179 against Phil Koch this year.
In 2009, when Koch was with the Yankees, he pitched in 60 innings, gave up 10 home runs. Last year with the Tigers, he pitched in a couple more innings than that and only gave up 2 home runs. This year he's only given up 3, so he seems to have eliminated the home run problem.
Well, Davis, no home run here, but it'll get Torrealba to second.
Continues to hit Phil Koch. Got a fastball to hit and whipped it. Line shot in right field.
Torrealba and Davis have scorched these two. Chris with that classic swing when he catches hold of one. A lot of fun to watch. Top of the order, Andrus, who singled to begin the game. And then picked off. Ending his streak of 28 consecutive successful stolen bases. He is second in the league in steals, 3 behind Jacoby Ellsbury of the Red Sox. Koch getting himself a real challenge here with a 1-0 lead. 2 on 1 out, and behind Andrus, 2 balls and no strikes. Koch, his first 5 years as a pro, never rose above Class A. Then he got serious about conditioning, and his career took off. Past a diving Kelly, base hit. Torrealba has the brakes thrown out at third. It was not a long throw by Dirks. Torrealba not the fastest man that the Rangers could possibly have on the base paths, but they are loaded now with 1 out for Craig Gentry.
That was a good job of coaching by Dave Anderson. He made Torrealba come hard, round the bag hard. He waited as long as he could to make his decision. And when he saw that Dirks got to the ball fairly quickly, he was getting ready to make the throw, then he put the sign up for Torrealba to stop. As he gets around the bag, tells him to stop, and that was a good choice. He wanted to give himself as much time as possible to make that call.
Well, Craig Gentry has 2 runs batted in for the year in his first 19 games, and 1 at bat tonight, which was a grounder to short, and a chance here with 1 swing of the bat to double that number at least, and at least get the Rangers a tie.
What the Rangers have coming right here is a little blooper right down the right field line that rattles into the corner and scores 3 runs.
Outfield playing Gentry to pull. And the breaking ball misses, ball and a strike. The Rangers finally making Koch throw a few pitches. He threw 7 in the first, 9 in the second, 13 and counting here in the third.
Good changeup right there by Koch.
Way out in front. That is the scouting report on him. 4-2 seam fastballs, but a great changeup. Slider replaced his curve a few years ago. He can throw strikes with his entire arsenal. And tops out right about there, 92 miles an hour, about his best velocity. See Jackson right there at the back of your picture, just slightly expecting Gentry to pull. The 2-2 pitch. They come home and Kelly sails it over Martinez, and 2-run score. The Rangers take the lead. Davis coming all the way right behind Torrealba.
Well, the Rangers were due for that kind of a break, and they got a huge break right there. Kelly fielded the ball. No chance for a double play. He's got an easy out at home plate. On the run, he just threw it right over Martinez's head. I don't think Martinez had any idea that the next run was trying to score. We'll take a look at it right here. Just throws it right over Martinez's head. There's no idea that this run's coming home. By the time he realizes it, it's too late. Davis scores all the way from second. Gentry ends up at second. And so it's men on second and third and still only one out.
Well, one of those home plate collisions, but nobody gets hurt this time. Except the Tigers on the scoreboard. Gentry on the fielder's choice all the way to second on the throw. And an E5 on Kelly to allow Torrealba to score. So Josh Hamilton now with 2 in scoring position, still only 1 man out, and a chance to add to a lead.
That's about the first thing in this 3-game series the Tigers haven't done right.
They took too much time between pitches.
Okay, well.
The relievers are not eager to throw the ball. And this time Ed Hickok says Hamilton did not go around on the breaking ball.
Not many hitters can stop the bat where Josh stops the bat without going through the strike zone for a strike. But he stops the bat, gives the third base umpire a pretty good look. And that's a heavy bat compared to other bats that he's using. That's how strong he is to be able to do that. Instead of whipping the bat back, Josh just stops it right there. So the third base umpire can see it. That's pretty close right there. But that's one that could go either way. In that particular one, it went Josh's way.
Ripped into the right field corner. Andrews scores. Gentry headed home. Hamilton will stop with a 2-run double. It's 4-1 Rangers.
Well, he got Josh to swing at a breaking ball out of the strike zone. And thought he might be able to sneak a fastball by him, but not much chance of that. Ripped that ball to right field.
Down there with so many left-handed hitters, love it, down and in. And Josh Hamilton safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. It is a 4-run, 4-hit Ranger third. And with still only 1 out, here's Michael Young, who singled his first time up. It's something he likes on the first pitch here, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Scoreboard finally tilted toward the Rangers. 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors. The Tigers a run on 3 hits, a costly error.
Yep, been waiting for this kind of an inning, and with the help of that bad throw from the third baseman, the Rangers have a big inning going, and they still only have 1 out.
Santiago coming back to take a throw in case Koch He's going to try and pick off Hamilton, having already picked off Elvis Andrus in this game. This will be pitch number 21 in the inning for Koch. Yeah, I guess the strike call on a breaking ball Michael thought was low. Ed Rapuano didn't, and it's 0-2. Michael 2 for his last 5 since ending the 0 for 19. Jackson starting back, now moving into the gap. Koch finally has the second out here in the third. So that brings up Adrian Beltre. Left-hander Adam Wilk beginning to throw in the Tiger bullpen. And Beltre scorched it in the first inning. Line drive that hung up long enough for Bosch to get there. Adrian still 3 hits in the series, 3 for 8. And there is Wilk getting loose.
Tigers right now have an 8-man bullpen. 4 left-handers out in their bullpen. We've seen Furbush, we've seen Percy, we've seen Schlereth, and that's the 4th one, Wilk.
Adrian trying to unload there on the off-speed pitch. Adrian has not driven in a run in 7 straight games. That's his longest stretch without an RBI all year, but he's still 4th in the league, because he had such a great RBI rate up until the last week. Been a long time since he's hit a home run. Stuck on 11 for quite some time, and he has dropped to a tie for 12th in the league in homers.
In that case, it's time for the call.
Is it?
Yes, perfect storm. Hasn't had an RBI, hasn't had a home run. Here it comes right here.
Take care of them both. All right. That's your first call
It
with
is,
me.
it
This
is.
is a big moment.
It is. I don't know what's gotten into me. It'll also be the first one I've been right on this year. Just missed a couple times. I think David Murphy hit one off the wall.
Yeah, he's hitting it so hard with that swing. Koch looking vulnerable. It would appear everything is in place. If he'll throw him another strike, 3-1. Tigers return home to begin a 4-game series with Seattle after this game, and the Mariners losing again at Chicago 1-0. Seattle batting top of the 5th. 2.5 behind Texas. Well, I liked
Koch,
all your reasons for the call.
Somehow Koch got wind of it. He foiled my attempt.
He seemed to sense it, didn't he?
Yep. I think we've got a mole.
Two on for Nelson Cruz, and the Rangers bat around here in the 3rd inning.
You know, Seattle have been scoring a lot of runs. They don't have much of an offense, but they've been scoring plenty of runs until they went into Chicago. They've had a lot of problems scoring in Chicago. You look at their batting averages throughout the lineup, it's hard to imagine they're ever scoring any runs.
Cruz sends this one into the gap in right center, not deep. Bosch is there. But the Rangers bat around and come up with 4 runs on 4 hits. A costly error thrown in there, and we play 3. It's 4-1 Texas.
Tigers 4-1 as we head to the fourth, and Dave and Tom, here he is, John Blake, who knows everything about the Texas Rangers, but here for a big announcement because all-star balloting in full force, but time is running out. We got a close race here.
Yes, we do, Jim, and it's coming down the stretch. The Rangers, of course, leave on a 10-game road trip after tonight. We only have 3 more games here at the ballpark for all-star balloting, so our fans need to get online, TexasRangers.com, and vote for Rangers All-Stars. Josh is holding off Ichiro in 3rd place right now in the outfielders. Big Poppy, David Ortiz, overtook Michael Young at the DH spot, so we need to get Michael back.
We got to change that one.
And Adrian Beltre's running second to A-Rod at 3rd base, so we've got to get the Rangers on the ballot, get some of those Yankees off.
Definitely, definitely. June 30th is the deadline. That's when they cut it off. Online voting. Let's get online. Vote for those Rangers. Who we're voting for here, guys, huh? All Rangers, you bet. Get online and vote. All right, Dave.
All right, Jim. 2-1 to Miguel Cabrera. No doubt the Tigers feel like they've got a lot of all-star worthy candidates as well, but boy, the first 2 ballot releases in the American League are so Yankee skewed, and over the course of the last several years, I think baseball fans get it right more often than any other group of fans for any other sport in terms of figuring out who deserves to be an all-star that particular year. Doesn't look like that's the case so far this year.
Yeah, they've still got a ways to go, though. Give them a little more time to study the box scores, look at the stats, see who the most worthy candidates are.
Carrying well. Is it fair or foul? It slices foul.
Oh, not by much. Cabrera thought the ball was going to be foul. He didn't run. And then right at the end, he wasn't so sure, and he started to run.
2 feet, maybe?
Yeah, a couple feet is all. That was slicing and just barely missed hitting foul pole.
That close to his 14th home run of the year. Ogando not wanting to walk the first batter he faces. Looking for a shutdown inning after being given 4 runs. Let's check our poor leaderboard, and Miguel Cabrera second now only to Vladimir Guerrero as the all-time Ranger killers. A 358 lifetime average against Texas. Second among all active players. I don't know if they'll ever catch Vladimir Guerrero. And of course, is still at it as a Baltimore Oriole this year. Well, a leadoff walk, but nothing new for Cabrera. That's his 46th walk this year.
Yeah, Cabrera's already had 13 intentional walks this year. And when Martinez was out of the lineup for a while, with Martinez out of the lineup, and before the Tigers started to get hot, you really had to be crazy to pitch to Cabrera. Had to make someone else beat you, and so he was walking a lot anyway, and being walked intentionally. Now Martinez is back to offer some protection there, and he's a good hitter in his own right. And the rest of the guys in the lineup are starting to pick it up too, as evidenced by the hits they've had the last couple of days.
And the 94-mile-an-hour fastball missing for ball 1 to Martinez. 306 for the year, but again on the road, he is currently the best in the league, 354. 7 points better than Wilson Benavides of the Royals. Just misses with the breaking ball, and it's 2-0. Cabrera with that walk still 9 behind the league leader Jose Bautista of Toronto. That's one of a number of categories where Bautista has a lead, and a lot of those he's got a substantial lead. Having another incredible year. Not so incredible the Oakland A's of late. They are losing again, and they're batting in the top of the 9th at Baltimore, trailing 3-2. They're staring a 9-game losing streak right in the face. Kevin Gregg on trying to close it out for Baltimore. Napoli, they get the out at second base, not quite in time to get the double up on Martinez.
It's a tough play for a right-handed thrower. You could see Napoli has to turn all the way around. He does it very well, though. He's got a good, accurate arm as a catcher, and he does it really well as a first baseman. Just takes a little longer when you throw right-handed to make that play. He did it as well as you could do it.
Very close at first, too.
Left-handed thrower just fields it and throws, in which case probably would have had a double play right there. It looked like he beat it.
Brian O'Nora getting the call right. But it took that angle to figure it out. And Ogando again falling behind early. 1-1 now to Dirks, who walked. First of 2 walks issued by Alexi tonight. He has had as many as 3 walks in a game only twice. April 28th against Toronto and May 23rd against the White Sox. That was his complete game 5-hit shutout. A run on 3 hits. Alexi coming in with 9 starts of 6 innings or more, 5 hits or fewer, 2 runs or fewer. No starts of that kind in the major leagues. And Dirks goes opposite field. He reaches again. And the Tigers, with a start, they hope at a comeback. Down by 3, 2 on with 1 out for Johnny Peralta. And that gets a visit for Mike Maddox. Ogando also, this really sums up how remarkable his start has been as a starter. Only 2 other active pitchers have started the season 6-0 with an ERA as low as Alexi's in the first 11 starts of the season. Jared Weaver when he broke in 2006, and Brandon Webb, now a Ranger, in 2006 with Arizona. And their ERAs were barely better than Ogando's 2.20. They were 2.18. Weaver ended up winning his first 9 decisions that year, if you remember how he burst on the scene with the Angels in 06.
Yeah, it looked like Weaver was going to do the same thing again this year. He started out 6-0 with a minuscule ERA. First 6 starts. It's going to be important for Alexi to master that breaking ball in this start. He hasn't been able to do it yet. There's a couple of times where he's thrown some good ones, but consistently he hasn't been able to make his pitches yet with his breaking ball, and that's an important part of his success. Any pitcher's success, really.
Solid hit out to deep center field. Gentry is there. Have a little room to spare for the second out. So Peralta 0 for 2. And with 2 outs and 2 on, here is Avila, who struck out his first time up.
That was a well hit ball by Peralta. You got a fastball near the middle of the plate. Hit it on a line. Fortunately, the jet stream didn't affect that ball. Looked off the bat like that might be one of those that gets up and just flies right out of here.
Alex Avila, 5th round pick out of the University of Alabama, 2008. First team all SEC his junior year. And Ogando again throwing the first pitch breaking ball, just missing with it. Made the Tigers as a second-year pro August of 09 and hit .324 that first month in the majors. from a baseball family, son of Tigers Vice President and Assistant GM Al Avila. Nice stop on the dive by Napoli. Thinks second and thinks better of it and made the right decision.
Fake to second, go to first.
It worked. And Ogando, despite a walk and a single, gets the shutdown inning after 3.5, still 4-1.
Mike Napoli noticed the hot start that his teammate Michael Young got off to begin the season. He decided to capitalize on it with some T-shirts that he got made for the hitters on his team, and they have Michael's new nickname, as I like to call it, Ranger Man, on it, and I asked him about the T-shirts.
Always a compliment. I mean, I think the Marvin Miller Man of the Year award. I don't know, every position he played, I mean, he leads the Rangers in hits, at bats, plate appearances, triples, doubles, maybe runs scored. I don't know. I think games played coming up, 6 more games.
Yeah.
So I got that going on the Cape soon. But I don't know. It's fun, and we're just gonna go with it.
Okay, so I kind of buried lead. There's a cape also. This is the T-shirt. It's got a walk the dog on the front, which describes a certain hitting style of Michael Young, and then on the back it says, "Hit like Mike," and then the words Ranger Man. And I have to admit, I'm partially at fault for the Ranger Man nickname. I threw it out one day during an interview. Michael was not happy with it, but Mike Napoli has taken it and run with it. Not only the T-shirts, but you heard him describing there the cape that he made on a towel from the Cleveland locker room, listing all of Michael's career accomplishments. We all know how much Michael Young loves attention. He is absolutely hating this, guys, but they're having fun with it in the clubhouse.
See, that's one of the big mistakes a player makes. No, you don't like it. That's just their cue to do it even more.
Yeah, that guarantees further abuse, doesn't it?
Yep. If you just act like you don't notice, it'll go away. Michael knows that.
1-2 pitch is chopped to the third baseman Kelly, and Napoli 0 for 2. And time for our AT&T trivia question. Really good one tonight. The 5 men who have managed both the AL and NL in the All-Star game, and one of whom you could probably figure out he is in the park tonight. I only got so far with this. I could not come up with the 5th name, so I'm going with my default answer. Tom Grieve is one of those 5.
Let's see if I can figure that one out.
Strike one to Torrealba, who singled and scored the unearned run out of the 4 the Rangers got in the 3rd inning off it. On a throwing error by Kelly, sailed over Martinez at the plate. Red Sox winning at Yankee Stadium again, 8-4. Yankees batting bottom of the 6th. New York's top 2 in the Rangers' upcoming 10-game, 11-day road trip. Red Sox trying to win their 5th in a row and take over first place undisputed from New York. They're in a virtual tie. The Yankees 2 percentage points ahead of Boston in the East. White Sox batting bottom of the 5th, still leading Seattle 1-0, matching 2 hitters by Gavin Floyd and Justin Vargas in that one. Toronto 5, Kansas City 4. 3-run top of the 4th for the Blue Jays, and they're still batting at Kauffman Stadium. And this afternoon, the next team up for the Rangers, the Minnesota Twins, won at Cleveland in 10 innings, 3-2. Torrealba takes a walk. He's on base for the 2nd time. It brings up Chris Davis. You have not heard, Rangers made a change at hitting coach today. Scott Coolbaugh, a former 3rd-round draft pick by the Rangers out of UT, up from Round Rock where he had that same job, and he, as of today, takes over. Thad Bosley dismissed in what was called an organizational decision by general manager John Daniels this afternoon. Communication and improper fit, the biggest 2 reasons cited by JD and Ron Washington. Well, here's Chris Davis, now 3 for 6 with 2 home runs all time against Phil Koch. Paying no attention to his left-handedness. Singled on an 0-2 pitch. A rope to right field, and he scored the 2nd of the 4 Ranger runs. Coming in right behind Torrealba after the missed throw by Kelly.
Yeah, good aggressive base running. That's the way the Rangers run the bases. Chris surprised everybody. Bloop in there.
Off the fists, and it is in there for a base hit in front of Austin Jackson. Davis continues dealing out misery to Phil Koch. He wants to see for himself exactly how he did that one.
That went off the fist, but muscled it into center field. First base hit he had was a line shot to right field. That one wasn't quite as pretty, but it counts the same.
Elvis Andrus 2 for 2, 3 for 3. Torrealba being held, he runs through a stop sign and scores.
That's almost a carbon copy of the last time. Elvis got a base hit to left field. Dave waited as long as he could and held Torrealba up. This time Dave did the same thing. Austin Jackson had the ball, and Dave tried to stop Torrealba, but he couldn't stop. The way he just looked out at Elvis is almost like he said, okay, I'll get you the RBI this time. Last time he stopped at third, Elvis didn't get the RBI. This time another rope by Elvis. 3 hits for Elvis, 2 line drives and a hard hit ground ball. It just goes to show you how hard it is to throw someone out at the plate from center field.
So 5-1, and here is Craig Gentry, whose fielder's choice ended with the 2-run scoring in the 3rd. And another chance here with Metaboard.
Put up the sign. Torrealba had his head down. He didn't even see that sign. He just made up his mind he was scoring on that one.
I'm telling Andres Blanco about it now. Be interesting to see what Dave Anderson does next time he has that same dilemma. Does he send or hold Torrealba? This is going to get Rick Knappton, the Tigers pitching coach, out for a talk. They have again Adam Wilk, the left-hander, throwing in their bullpen.
I think the lesson Dave will learn there is if he wants to stop him, he better do it a little bit quicker. Although he did it that way the last time, the first time, and Yorvit had no problem stopping. I think that time Yorvit just put his head down and said, I'm getting Elvis an RBI right here.
Well, Phil Koch, machine-like the first 2 innings, throwing a total of only 16 pitches. Took him 28 to get through the third. 16 and counting here in the fourth, with only 1 man retired, a run in and 2 on. Davis at second, Andrews at first, and a 2-0 count for Craig Gentry. Make it 3-0. Pitch number 62 from Koch. Finishes a 4-pitch walk to load the bases for Josh Hamilton.
Last time the bases were loaded for Josh Hamilton. Oh, they weren't loaded, were they? There's only 2 men out.
Yeah, but he doubled into the right field corner.
He doubled them both in, though.
Brought home Andrews and Gentry. 21st, 22nd RBIs of the year. Last night, drove in the only Ranger run on a little dribbler. Couple of good swings from Josh so far tonight, and he goes after the first pitch after the 4-pitch walk and fouls it back. So a chance here for the Rangers to do what the Tigers did to them each of the last 2 nights. Just jump on them by mid-game and try and coast the rest of the way. There goes the bat into the screen, fortunately.
Wow. Let's see Jim Sundberg catch that.
That was right over his head. And Nolan Ryan's.
I think one of the best things the Rangers did was put that screen in.
Just high enough, too. So the 0-2 pitch, chopped to first. Cabrera's coming home. Out there on to first. Double play. 3-1-3. Hamilton upset with that call, but that ends the inning. The Rangers settle for a run on 2 base hits. Ron Washington even more upset. It's 5-1 through 4. Managed both leagues in the All-Star game. R Sparky Anderson probably got that one. Alvin Dark was the tough one. I didn't get him. Tony La Russa, Jim Leland, of course, with the Pirates and the Tigers, and Dick Williams with Oakland and Boston. Alvin Dark replaced Dick Williams after he quit as the manager of the A's, and that winning the 1974 World Series, completing the run of 3 in a row by the A's, and so Dark got to manage the All-Star game the next year after managing the Giants early 60s. And strike one to Ramon Santiago to begin the 5th inning. 2-3-2 double play, or 3-2-3 double play, ending that last inning, and how close it was. Hamilton at first base. Ryan O'Nora was sure of it, though. Josh and Ron Washington not so sure. Santiago trying to bunt his way on, but slices that one foul. And we are joined by Steve Busby.
Hi, Dave.
Buzz, what do you think so far?
I like it. A lot better than the last 2 nights. Yeah, Rangers finally getting a few things going their way this evening. And, you know, they hadn't been able to bunch many hits together when they were either even in the game or, you know, down by a little bit. It's nice to see them be able to bunch a few things, catch a break on the air, and, you know, hopefully they can snap that mini 2-game losing streak.
There's a backdoor breaking ball. Strike 3, strikeout number 5. Does it at this point look like a night where Alexi Ogando has had to make some adjustments that he has not often needed to do?
Well, the only thing I see, Dave, that's different, his stuff is good. I don't see any difference in his stuff. He's having a little trouble getting the ball on the third base side of home plate consistently, whether it's with a breaking ball or a fastball. He's jerking a few of them across the plate or leaving them way outside. So normally the third base side of home plate for Alexi is fairly easy to nail down. It's your arm side of the plate. But tonight, one of those nights. I still like the results.
What is that, Buzz? Is that a mechanical thing? Or
yeah, it probably is, Tom. I'm not going to say it's a mechanical flaw because I think your mechanics are a little bit different every time you go out there. It's kind of like a hitter. You know, sometimes you feel better and hit.
Austin Jackson's drive run down by Hamilton.
You know, you see the ball better or you're a little bit quicker reaction-wise, and it's not really fair to say it's a mechanical problem, but it's just a difference from one day to the next on how you're able to do things.
I guess he's set the bar in a place that's hard for him to reach every time out. You know, he's only walked one guy in 8 of his 11 starts. He's had pretty good command every time out, and so when he's not quite right, it's almost a surprise, really.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys would take his not quite right.
Yeah, not quite right tonight. Got 4 hits and 1 run.
Well, that 1 run, courtesy Don Kelly. Well, the first inning home run, and it was crushed 402 feet down the line in right field. This ball hit pretty well. Gentry off with the crack of the bat, and he is there. And it's a 1-2-3 Tiger 5th.
You're on fire, Buzz.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Attaboy, Alexi.
Northwest is brought to you by Steel. For dependable trimmers and lightweight blowers, visit SteelDealers.com. And by Whataburger, just like you like it. Bottom of the fifth, it's Young, Beltre, and Cruz. Dave Barnett with Tom Grieve, joined by Steve Busby for the rest of this inning. Buzz on for a 9-pitch, 1-2-3 Tiger top of the fifth inning. And now Michael Young, who is singled and flied out. Rangers have not lost 3 straight at home this year. And they are one of 2 teams yet to be swept in a series, along with Toronto.
Doesn't see it.
Dirks finally sees it and races in. Can't hang on. Young will end up at second base.
Hopeless feeling. He's got an idea where it is. You see it go off the bat, but that gray sky blends right in with a gray ball after it's been rubbed up. And by the time he saw it, he wasn't able to field it cleanly. Got to it in time, though. Got a glove on it. Just couldn't hang on to it. Where is it? Shortstop sees it. He can't get to it, though.
Well, still waiting for the scoring ruling on that, but having gotten there and just not closing the glove right, you figure it's got to be an E7.
I think that's an E. Can't blame him for not being able to see it, but he did get to it and get a glove on it.
The official score tonight is Steve Weller. And another drive ends up foul for Adrian Beltre. Tom, that is the background that Dirks was fighting.
Yeah, it looks a little bluer on camera than it does looking up at it. In any event, once you rub the ball up, it's pretty similar color to what the sky is right now.
And it is officially an E7 error on Dirks. Second Tiger error of this game.
A lot of times at this time of night, the outfielders will call into the infielders and say, I'm having a hard time seeing it. If you see it, keep on coming. For some reason, the infielders are able to pick it up better than the outfielders.
That one's going to be fair, and it will bring home Young to make it 6-1 Rangers. And Beltre ends his stretch of 7 straight games without a run batted in.
He's hit the ball hard. He's walked and hit the ball hard twice tonight. Line drive caught in right center field. Finally hit one where no one could catch it.
Well, that's great to see too. Not just for Adrian Beltre, for the ball club. You immediately turn around an error and turn it into a run, and they've done that with the 2 errors tonight. They've turned them into 3 runs on the next play.
Take advantage of your opportunities.
Now Cruz trying to get into the act. He ended the second with a 5-4-3 double play ball and ended the third with a fly to right. And if Adam Wilk doesn't come in pretty soon, Jim Leland's going to make him expire out in the bullpen. He's throwing for the 3rd time tonight. Earlier they had the right-handers Al Albuquerque and their closer Jose Valverde. Just got to be getting some work in. Doesn't look like he's going to be called on tonight, barring a huge turnaround. Cruz out in front, shooting for home run number 15 there on a 2-0 pitch. Popped it up right out in front of second base, and the shortstop Peralta for out number 1.
First baseman Mike Napoli.
Here is Mike Napoli 0 for 2. It's been driving me crazy this year. Mike Napoli has reminded me of somebody, and I could never put my finger on it until tonight. And there he is, Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. And I'm guessing neither of you has any idea who Eddie Vedder or Pearl Jam.
Yeah, he's right there. His picture's right there on the screen.
I do know that, but I would not have known that that was Eddie Vedder.
Yeah.
Take off that helmet. See the length of Mike's hair. Separated at birth? Probably not. Mike from Florida, Eddie from San Diego, but there you go. So you have heard the name, Tom.
Oh, sure. Sure. What's that little girl he was married to for a long time?
I'm not sure you're talking about Eddie Vedder.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Maybe it's a different. Oh, that's a different Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, right.
That's the guy I grew up with.
That's good recovery. I like that. Yeah.
Now we got to figure out who it is you were thinking of.
Well, first I got to think of the girl's name. When I do that, then you'll be able to tell me who her husband was. It was a rock star.
We've got a whole thing going here now. Did he check his swing?
I just got a little help from the truck. I'm thinking of Valerie Bertinelli.
Eddie Van Halen. There you go.
So I was close.
Yeah, that's an easy miss.
Eddie.
Yep.
Same initials.
Yeah. Rock stars Eddie V. There's only two. That is skied and slicing into the seats, and the count now full.
Where's Pearl Jam rank for you, Dave? Are they in your top 10 all-time groups?
They're probably up there.
Top 10?
They probably are, yeah. Group still active, definitely. Grounded to third. Kelly gets only the out at first, despite a nice one-hopper scooped at first by Cabrera. So with two outs, Napoli reaches on the fielder's choice, brings up Yorvi Torrealba, who has played a big part of this game, the single and the run on the Kelly error in the first.
Nice play by Cabrera. Cabrera, for a big guy, handles himself pretty well over at first base.
Napoli runs pretty well for a catcher first baseman too. Made that play very close.
8-9-1 batters haven't made an out yet. Koch's best pitch tonight's been his changeup.
Well, that's right. Yorvit single walk, 2 runs scored. Davis 2 for 2 with a run. Andrews 3 for 3. Scored 1, driven in 1. Here's 6 of the 9 Ranger hits, make it 7 of 10. Torrealba 2 for 2.
Buzz, what was your philosophy on throwing the changeup? Would you like to throw it on back-to-back pitches if the hitter was way out in front of it?
No, I really didn't. If I was going to throw something off my normal speed, I'm being a fastball slider pitcher. There wasn't a lot of variation for me, but if I was going to throw something, a changeup, and then something off speed after that, I'd throw something with a break on it, choke down on the slider or something. I didn't throw a changeup often enough to feel like my command was really good.
But for a pitcher that's got a good changeup,
oh yeah,
then it's not a problem.
No,
right?
no, I don't think so.
Well, Chris Davis 2 for 2 tonight. 4 for 7 with 2 homers now all time against Koch. His favorite left-handed pitcher. Koch at 82 pitches now, 50 for strikes. And 0-2 on Davis. Four for 8 with runners in scoring position after not much happened in their opportunities the last 2 games, and they had some too. 3 for 16. in Cleveland. The Rangers won Saturday and Sunday despite never getting a hit with a man in scoring position. Just missing with a breaking ball, 1-2. As you're on the road trip upcoming, what can the Rangers find out about themselves in Minnesota, New York, and Atlanta maybe that they don't already know? Anything?
Oh, yeah, there's always something to find out, Dave. I think to see if they can continue to play good baseball. Good baseball away from home as they did on the last road trip to Tampa Bay and to Cleveland. I think that's something you're always wondering about. Going into that last road trip, you looked at Tampa Bay and at Cleveland and say, hey, this is going to be a tough road trip. Have played at any time this year, I think, for those 7 games. So you want to continue that. You want to continue to play solid baseball. I don't feel like they believe they need to take a back seat to anybody in Major League Baseball.
Carry well deep right center field, and Bosch sticks his glove out there and right in front of the bullpen, robs Chris Davis of what would have been home run number 3 for him against Phil Koch. Rangers get a run, 2 hits and an error, 2 left. We bid farewell until later on. Steve Busby.
Sounds good, Dave. Thank you.
Dave, we've been calculating, it's Dollar Dog Night. How many dogs people are eating in the stands? These little guys, how many you got tonight?
5.
That's not bad, but here's the guy that leads this section. It's Big Chris, Angry Dog, they call him. How many, Chris?
I only had 26 tonight, Doctor.
Makes 27. There goes the wrappers. That one's for who?
That's for Tom Grieve, not that.
Grieve.
I am Grieve, Nazi. It's me and you, Tom. Have another dog tonight, Tom.
There we go, Tom.
If he's not a competitive eater, he should be. Sure, Tom is very flattered. Backdoor breaking ball, strike 1 to Brennan Bosch. Alexi Ogando now with a 6-1 lead, another unearned run scoring for the Rangers. And he's retired Bosch both times tonight after his 7-for-10 2-homer performance in the first 2 games of this series with 5 runs batted in on Monday. Ogando at 83 pitches, and that's not bad at all considering where he was after 2. 40 pitches, 25 in the first inning alone. But he has settled down. He looks like he has pretty much every start this year. Andrews throws out Bosch, who is now 0 for 3.
A lot of times you'll hear people say with a really good pitcher, if he's struggling early with his command, you better take advantage of it and you better get your runs, because more often than not, a really good pitcher will turn himself around, and that's pretty much what Ogando has done tonight. Struggled early with his command, and the longer he's been in there, the better his command has come around.
Well, there are a couple of Tigers he has yet to retire, and this is one of them, but he finally gets Cabrera on one pitch out to Gentry.
Pretty good defensive placement right there. Gentry favoring right center field. Cabrera hit that ball hard, but right to him. That's how they used to play Julio Franco, and Julio Franco used to hit about 15 balls a year right like that to the center fielder. Line shots.
And nothing was going to get him from shooting those breaking balls to right field. That's my enduring memory image of Julio Franco. That's what it looks like for Hombres Blanco. The Rangers from that first base dugout as Victor Martinez 0 for 2 steps up. So Cabrera retired for the first time. The other Tiger that Ogando has yet to get is Dirks, who has walked in single. But also out in left field, committed the error on the fly ball that he lost up against the sky off the bat of Michael Young, who came around to score the unearned Ranger run in the 5th to make it a 5-run lead. This one is hit well. Cruz, though, is there, reaches up. He can't hang on to it. And Martinez will hold at first base.
Well, it looked like it fooled Nelly a little bit. He really didn't have to jump for it. I think he thought off the bat it was going to be over his head.
This is E9, the Rangers' first error of the game.
Well, he wanted to jump for it, but it was only about shoulder high. Kind of jumped right over it.
Well, the sky is now dark. Maybe could that have been a light issue?
It could have been. Could have been.
Well, here is Dirks. 8th round pick out of Wichita State, 2008. All-America there as a senior.
And Nelly usually doesn't have any problem with that kind of a ball in right field. So it was the kind of line drive that could go through the lights. So, you know, that might be a good call. That might have been what happened to Nelly on that ball.
Down on 3 pitches. And Ogando takes care of both Cabrera and Dirks. Works around the Cruz error. And we head to the bottom of the 6th in the 6-1 Ranger lead. Sonic Slam Inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot worth $900 and dinner for 2 to Sonic Drive-In. Tonight the Rangers are hitting for Gilbert Mitchell from Maybank if a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning. Gilbert Mitchell from Maybank will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And it's the top of the order. Andrews, Gentry, and Hamilton to face, at last, left-hander Adam Wilt. Jim Leland got him up 3 times out in the bullpen and finally brings him in here for the 6th inning. Phil Koch in 5 innings allows 6 runs, 2 of which were unearned, 10 base hits. He did not strike out a batter and walked 3. And that's one legacy of Thad Bosley, the departing Ranger hitting coach. The Rangers all year long have had the fewest strikeouts of any team in baseball. Verizon Wireless call to the bullpen here. Adam Wilt, May 26th with that line against the Red Sox. Last time he has been in a game, that was a while. And Andrews goes after his first pitch. Out to Dirks. He hangs on to this one.
Always had 3 hits coming into that at bat. He got all 3 of them pretty well. Hit that ball pretty well, too. I don't think he got all of it, but hit all the way to the warning track.
That outing by Wilt was his major league debut. Unearned run on 2 hits. Back down to AAA Toledo and then recalled on Sunday. At Toledo, 4-4 with a .354 earned run average as a starter, 9 starts. 11th round pick just 2 years ago. Already in the majors. 0-2 to Gentry. He was run down everything in the outfield. Reached on the fielder's choice, which featured the throwing error by Killy, overshooting the catcher Martinez, leading to 2 Ranger runs. And Gentry last time up walked on 4 pitches. 1-2 here. First time he's ever played against the Tigers tonight. Well hit if it stays fair into the left field corner, and it is off the wall. Gentry racing to second base with the kind of speed where he thinks maybe 3 if Dirks doesn't immediately come up with it and get it back in, which he did. 3rd double of the year for Craig. Tom, one of his best swings since he's been up with the Rangers.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat pretty well. He doesn't have a lot to show for it. But he's been swinging the bat halfway decently. He's had a good game today. He's had a walk and a double. Scored a run, got on the error by the 3rd baseman. I think Craig's gaining confidence knowing that he's earned a position on the team. That he doesn't have to hold his breath every game, wonder if he's going to be sent back to the minor leagues. I think that helps out a lot. Trying to establish himself. But he brings a lot to the game. A lot of things he can do to help you.
His marching orders when Ron Washington gave him the good news, he said, just let it go. Don't hold back. Show us your skills. Show us what you can do. And it's really starting to become evident at the plate. Already was on the base paths and in the outfield.
Yeah, I think that's perfect advice from a manager to a young player with a skill set that Craig has.
1-1 to Hamilton, a 2-run double in the 3rd, and then grounded into just his 3rd double play of the year to end the 4th. 3-2-3. That will stay up for Bosch to make the running catch, out number 2. And that'll bring up Michael Young.
Second baseman, Michael.
Michael has singled, flied out, reached on an error by Dirks. Ball he lost against the sky and then dropped. And he was singled home by Adrian Beltre in the 5th. Mariners came up with 3 runs in the top of the 6th at Chicago. The White Sox now batting in the bottom of the 7th, and Seattle leads that game now 3-1. Both teams only 5 hits. Vargas against Floyd. Oakland lost again. A 9-game losing streak for the A's. They fall at Baltimore 3-2. Zach Britton, that impressive rookie, now 6-4 for the O's, a .318 earned run average. And he outduels Josh Outman in that game. Kevin Gregg saves his 12th of the year. So the A's at the moment 7.5 back, and if the Rangers hang on, they will really fall in arrears, 8 back. Angels just about set to get underway. In fact, probably right about now, Tampa Bay should be batting in the top half of the first in Anaheim. White Sox with the run in the bottom of the 7th, now within 3-2 of the Mariners. Will just missing, nailing down that outside corner. 2-2. Will, a native of Anaheim, California. Product of Long Beach State. And Michael slices that breaking ball into the seats. Remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gentry was halfway around third, headed home by the time that one sliced in. Finally became foul. But the Rangers have out there at second base one of their 2 or 3 fastest runners, one of their best outfielders, one of their best throwing arms. So the bat continues to come around. Along with what Endy Chavez has done, you really got something going. Peralta for out number 3. Gentry's double. All Wilk allows in the 6th, and we head to the 7th. 6-1 Rangers over Detroit. Southwest brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout days. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve on to the 7th inning. Alexi Ogando has thrown only 9 pitches each of the last 2. And the bottom third of the order for the Tigers in the 7th. Peralta, Avila, and Santiago. 1 run on 4 hits on what started off looking like it might be an off night for Ogando. He allowed a home run to the second batter of the game, Don Kelly. Single to Cabrera, the fourth batter. Walked the leadoff hitter, Dirksen, the second. And since then, really only challenged in the fourth when Cabrera led with a walk. Two batters later, Dirk singled. But with two men on, he got Peralta to fly to center and Alex Avila to ground to first.
And here he is, right where we talked about in the scouting report before the game. At least 6 innings, 5 hits or less, and 2 runs or less.
And a pop-up, which Chris Davis comes in to handle. For complete NBA Finals coverage, switch over to Fox Sports Southwest after each game for post-game coverage and analysis. As the Mavs go for their first NBA title, it's Mavs Live immediately after every Finals game, only here on Fox Sports Southwest. Got a chance to get into the car just in time to hear the end last night.
Oh, I did too. That was unbelievable. Chuck Cooperstein's awesome. Boy.
Is he? Is he not?
He is awesome. Made me feel like I was at the game watching it.
Alex Avila, sinking line drive. Hamilton seems to lose it in the lights.
Yeah, that definitely was lost in the lights. You don't see balls lost in the lights that much in this ballpark, but it sure appeared like the one to Nelly that happened. And it definitely looked like the one to Josh. It almost looked like he got startled as he got to the ball.
Well, that's twice that's happened now in a 4-batter stretch. And this is an error.
And you can tell the way Josh puts his head down that that ball's in the lights. He's fighting it right there. And just lost track of where the ball was right at the end. Couldn't see it.
That is his first error this year.
I didn't notice Nelly battling the lights like that, but it could have happened right at the end.
Nelly committing his 4th. Yeah, what they seem to have in common is just as they arrived at the glove, they seemed to have a beat on it right until it was time to make the actual catch.
And you can usually tell when a guy loses one in the lights by the look on his face and the direction that his eyes go. And on Josh, you could definitely see him put his head down because he was blinded by the lights, just like looking in the sun, really. Not quite as bad, but it blinds you and you lose the ball. Didn't quite notice that same reaction by Nelly, but doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Josh working out on the sunflower seeds out there. He says his battle giving up smokeless tobacco, which started last week, going very well. In fact, so well that he doesn't even think about it anymore until guys like me ask him about it. So
wow, good for him.
Farmer said, shut up about it. He went around and it's 2-2.
Strike 3, I think. He didn't want.
That was strike 3.
He didn't want to leave the batter's box.
That's his second straight strikeout, 7th of the night for Ogando. Barely went around.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't feel like a swing to a hitter. It was borderline. But for an umpire, it's an impossible call. You're talking about a matter of inches. I think once you get into that zone, the call can go either way.
Well, that is strikeout number 7 for Ogando. A new season high equaling total of 7. He also had 7 against Toronto April 28th. That was a no decision. Cruz, no problem handling this one off the bat of Austin Jackson. Second straight inning. Only an error marring things for Ogando and the Rangers. baseball leagues in your community. If you would like to learn more about Chevy Youth Baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. Adam Wilk on for his second inning in relief of the starter Phil Cope. Beltre, Cruz, and Napoli in the Rangers' 7th, up 6-1. Out hitting the Tigers 11-4 after 38 Detroit knocks the first 2 games of this series. Beltre last time up singled home Michael Young, ended the streak of 7 straight games since he had last driven in a run. He finally got his 44th. And continues what's now a 12-game hitting streak against the Tigers. Detroit had Joaquin Benoit up in their bullpen. He has sat down, and will given charge of the 7th inning by Jim Leland. Rangers won the first meeting of the year way back in April up in Detroit. They've lost 4 straight since. So this has snapped their streak of 4 consecutive series victories. Well hit. Fair or foul? It's a fair ball off the foul pole. Number 12 for Adrian Beltre.
Beltre starting to get a little bit of a break. If he hit that ball a couple days ago, it would have hooked foul. He's keeping his helmet on so they can't mess with his head.
Now he'll take it off. Pretty sure he's safe. This was close.
Inside pitch. Hooked it. And he caught the foul pole.
1-1 to Cruz. Pitch like that, Tom, a lot of times almost impossible to keep fair, isn't it? And he barely did.
Yeah, it's the angle that your bat meets the ball, obviously. And if you can keep your hands in with that kind of an inside-out approach to the ball, you have a better chance of keeping it fair.
Well, he has always got a smile on his face, but really enjoying these last 2 at-bats tonight. Ending his RBI and home run droughts. Cruz 0 for 3 again tonight after going 0 for 3 last night, ending his 10-game hitting streak. Angels scoreless in the bottom of the first. 0-0 Tampa Bay and LA. This one chases Austin Jackson back, but he knows exactly where he is, right in front of the wall. There's the first out.
The Rangers have hit a lot of balls hard today that have been caught. That's the second ball that Jackson's gone to the wall. Napoli a little earlier in the game. Beltre hit a line shot to right field. A much better day offensively for the Rangers. Well, they scored 7 runs in the first game. The Tiger bats were pounding the ball the first 2 days. Ogando's shut them down a little bit today.
Here is Napoli. Reached on a fielder's choice last time. Beating a relay where it would have been a double play ball. Well, the Tigers were hoping, if things went well again tonight, that they could close within a half game of the Cleveland Indians in the Central Division. The Indians losers in 10 innings today, 3-2 to Minnesota. But barring a huge comeback, they will remain a game and a half back. But just a few days ago, that was a 6-game margin. So things definitely headed in their favor. The Home Depot presents doing more on defense. This was Alex Avila at the plate, 4th inning. And Napoli thinking second before wisely reconsidering and getting the 3rd out of the inning at first. Doing more on defense. And he swings and misses for the first strikeout for Adam Wilk. 2nd out here in the Rangers 7th. And Yorvi Torrealba will step up. At Chicago, the Mariners adding a run in the 8th inning. White Sox batting in the bottom of the 8th. That is 4-2 Seattle. Vargas scattering 7 hits for the Mariners. If they hang on and this score remains Rangers in control, then the margin will remain 2.5 for Texas over Seattle in the American League West as the Rangers prepare to embark on their longest road trip of the year. And they have Darren Oliver loosening. Now we're talking between innings. 100 pitches through 7 for Ogando, and only 28 thrown in the last 3 innings as he's really sailed. So
I think go ahead, Dave. Finish your question.
I was wondering, and we discussed, would you bring him back out for the 8th
Well,
inning?
I think there's a lot of ways of looking at it, things you have to be concerned about. First year as a starter, you project at the end of the year how many innings you're comfortable with, how many pitches you're comfortable with, and you can make a case you want to get him as much rest as you can.
A diving catch by Brennan Bosch, robbing Torrealba.
The other side of it is the state of the bullpen. Does the bullpen need an extra inning rest? And those are things that Ron Washington and Mike Maddox have to gauge.
Well, the Rangers get the home run by Beltre, and we head to the 8th. It is 7-1. So is back out for the 8th inning, and his 101st pitch is a breaking ball strike to Don Kelly, responsible for the only run he has allowed tonight with a home run in the 1st inning, his 1st of the year, 10th of his career.
Yeah, I think, Dave, in games where the bullpen is well rested and Ron almost feels like he wants to get the bullpen some work, then I think it'd be pretty easy to take Ogando out right now and save him 15 pitches. But Bush pitched, Lowe pitched, Tateyama pitched last night. You don't really want to use Felice. You'd love to save him to be fresh tomorrow. You bring him into a game just to get some work, and he throws 20 pitches, and you know, it doesn't set up well for the road trip. Kirkman pitched the first day quite a few pitches. So I think what Ron's saying right now is the way Ogando's pitching, have a quick 8th inning, and I'll have Darren Oliver pitch the 9th inning. And that way the rest of the bullpen still gets a pretty good rest.
Let's check in with Jim Knox.
All right, Dave, real quick time for the progressive fan of the game. It has to be Lauren, longtime Ranger fan for Fort Worth in this beautiful outfit. Here's the progressive bag, hat, shirt. Lauren, what's this all about, actually?
I'm the official Rangers winter woman. We never lose when I'm here. I'm ready to wrestle those Tigers.
There we go, Lauren. We'll take the bag. Get after those Tigers. There we go. Yeah, there we go, big guy. Yeah. Dave.
Tom, another very normal, sedate human being until they get around Jim Knox.
I think Knoxy does it to him. And there's a sweet, cute-looking girl, and all of a sudden she's dressed like Wonder Woman, screaming her head off. I think it's Jim Knox myself. I don't think that happens without Knoxy.
The evidence is mounting.
Knoxy just brings out the craziness in everybody.
Bosch trying to get a hit after an 0-for-3 night following a 7-for-10 first 2 games of this series.
I'd like to see the sideline guy bump into Jim while he's at a game and see what he could get Jim to say or do.
That might be fascinating. Carlos Quentin, Tom, has just hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning to tie the game for the White Sox against Seattle 4-4.
Wow.
Sky high, and Mike Napoli in foul territory. It's an 0-for-4 for Bosch, and that might be the most impressive accomplishment of the night for Alexi Ogando. So 2 outs to face Cabrera. The last base hit Ogando allowed was to Andy Dirks back in the 4th inning. The only Tiger base runners since then were on the errors by Cruz in the 6th on Martinez and by Hamilton in the 7th on Avila. Cabrera retired only last time in a fly to center after singling and walking his first 2 trips. Jamie Wright has come on out of the bullpen for the Mariners in that game. White Sox still batting bottom of the 8th in that 4-4 tie. Tampa Bay batting top of the 2nd in Anaheim, 0-0. Toronto 9, Kansas City 4. Royals batting in the bottom of the 7th. And the Red Sox 3 more in the 9th inning in New York. Yankees batting bottom of the 9th. Red Sox leading 11-5. They hang on. They are alone in first in the East. That one falls just fair. And Cabrera will be held to a single as Cruz quickly gets back up to the wall. They grab it and fire it back in. So there's the first hit since the 4th.
Well, most of the hits haven't been hit all that hard. That's Cabrera's second hit off the end of the bat. One was a little grounder pass first, a little blooper down the line right here. Santiago had a soft line drive single to left and got the home run. Dirks hit his base hit pretty well. And there's been a couple of outs hit fairly well. But all in all, after the first couple of innings, great comeback right here. After the first inning, really. Ogando had a pretty good second inning after the leadoff walk. A couple of strikeouts and a throw him out on a steal. First inning really was the one inning where he struggled.
Through 25 pitches in the first inning. Solid base hit by Martinez. And now 2 on with 2 outs. Darren Oliver ready, it would appear, in the bullpen in case Ron Washington decides that's enough for the night with 111 pitches. And after giving Napoli time, or Toralba time to converse on the mound with Ogando, here comes Wash. And Ogando will depart, having allowed 1 run on 6 base hits. The last 2 to the last 2 batters he faced. He struggled in the first. He got it going. And a huge crowd at Rangers Ballpark showing their appreciation for an amazing pitching story developing in 2011. And Alexi Ogando working 7 2/3 innings with a run on 6 hits, 7 strikeouts, and walked 2. After a 25-pitch first inning, he ends up with those numbers. And he can be the only 7-0 pitcher in the major leagues. No one else has won their first 7 decisions in either league this year. Darren Oliver on. And Jim Leland countering with the pinch hitter Ryan Rayburn, right-handed batter for Andy Dirks, who was 1 for 2 with the walk while he was in. Also committed an error out in left field that would unearn Ranger run. Rayburn batting .208. 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. Last night, 2 for 4. RBI singles and scored a run. Darren Oliver struck out the only batter he faced Sunday at Cleveland, Michael Brantley, to end the 8th. Brantley the tying run at the plate. Rangers leading 2-0. 5 straight scoreless appearances over 4 1/3 for Darren. He's retired 13 of his last 17 batters. And ahead of Rayburn now 1-2. They're in 1-5, a couple of saves. The 5 relief losses now tied for second in the majors. Ryan Fuentes has lost 7 games now for Oakland. Oakland are losing again today. They're 9th in a row, 3-2 at Baltimore. And Oliver comes in and blows away Ryan Rayburn with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. MLB.tv today to see every Rangers game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit TexasRangers.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Detroit's third pitcher of the night, with Rayburn staying in the game in left field, replacing Dirks at the plate as well. And Enrique Gonzalez takes over for Adam Wilk, who worked 2 innings, allowed a run on 2 hits, struck out a batter. Gonzalez, 28-year-old from Bolivar, Venezuela, on for the 8th time this season. Last 5 outings, a little better than that ERA, a 9 ERA. Up from AAA Toledo, May 23rd, where he was the closer, 6 saves for the Mud Hens. Chris Davis singled twice, scored against Phil Koch, who finally got him to fly to right field. At a point where he was 4 for 7 against him lifetime. Tonight, the 13th crowd of the year of over 40,000. A huge walk-up tonight. And the official attendance, 40,388. To see the Rangers off. This is the only 3-game homestand in a 20-game stretch. And tonight, the Rangers fly up north to Minneapolis, expected to land around 2:30. And tomorrow, you get a 4-game series up at Target Field against a team that is showing some signs of life lately. Foul tip. Martinez hangs on. Davis strikes out. First out in the 8th inning for the Rangers. Tomorrow, it's Derek Holland against Nick Blackburn. With Davis strikeout. Just the second of the night by a Ranger hitter. Koch did not strike out a batter in his 5-inning start.
Gonzalez has pitched 8 innings, given up 12 hits, 6 walks, and only struck out 2, but made a couple of good pitches on Chris. The last fastball, good life on it, good location with it.
Elvis Andrus tonight, 3 hits, driven in a run, scored a run. Speaking of the Twins, this week Fox Saturday Baseball returning as the Rangers take on Minnesota. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 3 p.m. Central. That Saturday matchup, Colby Lewis against Scott Baker. Colby trying to return to form. Tomorrow night, Derek Holland trying to keep what he established at Cleveland with his 2nd career complete game shutout. 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest tomorrow. Friday night, 7 o'clock on TXA 21. C.J. Wilson against Brian Dunsing. Lewis and Baker Saturday. Sunday at 1, back here on Fox Sports Southwest, for Matt Harrison against Francisco Liriano, who returned off the DL last night. It was the hard luck loser to Carlos Carrasco and the Indians, 1-0. Austin Jackson into the gap. Elvis settling for a 3-hit night. And Craig Gentry coming off a double last time up off of Adam Wilk. Rangers have Neftali Feliz now throwing in the bullpen. He has not worked since Sunday.
Yeah, and if he comes into the game, that would be the reason why Ron just wants to keep him sharp. But the other day he threw just to get some throwing in without coming into the game. So we'll see if that's the case tonight. Ron just feels like he needs to get an inning for Feliz. Got to keep your closer sharp. tough call for a manager when you don't need your closer. When do you get him the work, and when do you keep him rested for the next game or the games after that?
In the Detroit ninth, the bottom third of their order, Peralta, Avila, and Santiago due up. They are a collective 1 for 9, with the number 9 hitter Santiago providing the only hit among that group. Mariners batting top of the ninth in Chicago in that 4-4 tie forged by the 2-run home run by Carlos Quentin in the bottom of the 8th inning for the White Sox. Rays and the Angels scoreless now in the top of the 3rd. And the Red Sox have finished off another win at New York, 11-6.
They move ahead of the Yankees into first place.
Yep. 5th straight win for Boston. They improved to 35-26. The Yankees fall to 33-26. Tampa Bay 2.5 back. Toronto 3.5 back in the East. Last place Baltimore with another win over Oakland. Just 5.5 back. 29-31 for Buck Showalter's Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles are 2 games from having every team in the East be 500 or better.
Gentry works his second walk of the night. He's reached his last 4 trips. And here's Josh Hamilton, 1 for 4 with a huge hit, a 2-run double in the Rangers' 4-run third. An inning they began down 1-0. They got single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 7th. Josh, in his 15 games, including tonight, since coming off the DL, has an RBI per game, 15. 22 for the year in 26 games. Where would he be if he'd been healthy the whole year? Game still going in the National League. Arizona and Pittsburgh tied at 2 in the bottom of the 11th inning at PNC Park. Clint Hurdle's team can go to 500 with the win. They will be 30-30. Mets leading at Milwaukee 6-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Brewers have been red hot. The Astros leading the Cardinals tonight down at Minute Maid Park, 4-1. Astros batting bottom of the 8th. Cubs beat the Reds 4-1. Giants over Washington 3-1. Colorado 5, San Diego 3. Phillies 2, Dodgers nothing. All finals. Rayburn out in left field. And Enrique Gonzalez, a strikeout, a walk, a man left in the 8th inning. We head to the ninth, 7-1 Rangers. Well, Darren Oliver out to at least begin the 9th inning. And faces the right-handed hitter Peralta, who has struck out, flied out, and popped out. 2 for 13 series for the top hitting shortstop in the American League. Oliver came on to strike out pinch hitter Ryan Rayburn to end the 8th inning after Alexi Ogando had allowed singles to the last 2 batters he faced, Cabrera and Martinez. His 5th and 6th hits of the night. He went 7 2/3, 1 run, struck out 7, walked 2. Neftali Feliz has sat down out in the Ranger bullpen. That one is pulled foul with the late hook. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We saw Feliz again. We saw him the other night get up in a similar time of the game, and evidently just to get his throwing in out in the bullpen to stay sharp. Ron's mind, 3 days off is fine, and you have him completely rested going into Minnesota tomorrow. And because Ogando pitched so deeply into the game, the rest of the bullpen got the night off too.
White Sox batting bottom of the 9th in a 4-4 tie with Seattle. And Peralta now with a hit at all 3 games of the series. Let's check in with John Radigan.
Hey guys, sitting down here in the Rangers live set and getting ready for a complete post-game wrap-up of this one. The end of a homestand that feels like the continuation of a road trip. Just 3 at home, and now the Rangers, as you guys well know, are headed back out on the road for a long, long road trip. We'll talk about that. We've got Steve Busby here to talk about all the things that happened in this game and how great Alexi Ogando really was in the game. We'll hear from Ron Washington. It's all the post-game you could possibly want. It's Rangers Live, guys, coming up right after the game.
That is a lot of post-game. We will look forward. Alex Avila.
Did you happen to notice that guy making a fool out of himself in the background just then? Jumping up and down, waving his arms. That was one of our camera guys, Dave Curlis.
Under the glove of Young, out to center field. Peralta to second base. And a base hit for Avila, his first of the night. Tigers not done yet. And Ramon Santiago will step up 1 for 3. You sound surprised that a member of our crew would behave in such a fashion.
I'm shocked. Dave's such a conservative guy. See him jumping up and down like that. Hey, he had the night off. He's not working tonight. Might have had a couple of beverages. Who knows?
Does not react well to civilian status. Tampa Bay got a run in the 3rd out at Anaheim. They're up 1-0. Angels batting bottom of the 3rd. And in that Seattle-Chicago game, Aaron Laffey now pitching for the Mariners. White Sox with a man on. Gordon Beckham has just walked. So the winning run is aboard for the White Sox as they bat in the bottom of the 9th. Rangers could go up 3.5 if they win. Oliver with his 2nd strikeout takes care of Santiago, and now it is up to Denton Ryan's Austin Jackson. Bringing that in on the fist nicely. And Ron Washington will, it would appear, say to Darren Oliver his night is done. Or maybe not, depending on what Darren says.
There's no one throwing right now. Now, Feliz warmed up last inning, and he must be ready, unless someone else jumped up and we didn't see him throwing. We'll know in a second when that door opens up.
Oliver faces 4 batters, strikes out 2, allows hits to the other 2, Peralta and Avila.
And it is Feliz. And maybe what Ron wanted to do is he wanted to get Feliz some time on the mound and just limit how much it is. Darren got 1 of the outs. Now Neffy only has to get 2 of them.
So Feliz against Jackson. Feliz try and get the final 2 outs of the ball game. Austin Jackson, Don Kelly, the scheduled hitters. And the last road trip, Wash said maybe the highlight for him was the return to form of Feliz.
Yeah, I think I noticed the same thing Ron was talking about with his body language. It looked like the swagger had returned. With that, the confidence. It looked like he went through a little bit of a stretch after he came off the disabled list, where he didn't have the command and didn't feel real good about the way he was throwing the ball, but that seemed to change on the road trip.
Feliz, after the stretch of 3 blown saves, all at the hands of Kansas City, got his 13th save Sunday at Cleveland in very efficient fashion. Austin Jackson 0 for 4 tonight. 6 for 11 the first 2 games of the series. Feliz trying to wrap up Alexi Ogando's 7th win against no defeats. Gentry heading back in center, and it is over his head and off the wall. Peralta will score. Avila held at third base. And a nice snag of the relay by Torey Alba. Jackson with his 18th RBI of the year makes it 7-2 with a double.
Good pitch to hit. Nice job of hitting by Austin Jackson. Gave that ball a ride to right center field.
Tigers love, among other things, his quick bat. Good fastball hitter. So the run charged to Darren Oliver. Strike 1 to Don Kelly, who is responsible for their only other run with that first inning home run. The only damage allowed by Ogando. Well, the White Sox scoreless in the bottom of the 9th. They had the winning run at first with 2 outs. Juan Pierre grounded out, and the Mariners and the Sox now in extra innings at U.S. Cellular Field in a 4-4 tie.
Well, Seattle has to go into Detroit for a 4-game series after tonight, so maybe that game will go about 16 innings. They'll have to use their bullpen all night long.
And the Rangers will become big fans of the Tigers through the weekend. Trying to end their 4-game winning streak here. They have taken 8 of their last 9.
Well, they'll have Justin Verlander on the mound tomorrow night.
Davis will get the out at first base as Avila comes home with the second run for the Tigers of the inning, and it is 7-3. Trading it out for a run. The thing to do here with only 1 out to go, and it is Brendan Bosch. See Torey Alba pointing Davis to first base. Might have had time for a play at the plate, but there's really no need. You just need outs at this point. And Bosch has made 4 of them tonight after 7 for 10 the first 2 games of the series with his 6th and 7th homers of the year. Brought his average up 22 points these last 2 nights. And Tom Feliz showing the good breaking ball again.
Yeah, that's a good sign, being able to throw that pitch over the plate.
And the fastball looks even faster at 97, 0-2. $40,388 on their feet to bring this one home. And Feliz takes care of it with big power. Rangers 7, Tigers 3. They avoid their first sweep of the season. And Alexi Ogando becomes the first 7-0 pitcher in the major leagues this year.
Well, that was a good win for the Rangers. They lost the first 2 of the series. The Tigers pounded out almost 40 hits in the first 2 games. But the Rangers had their ace in the hole. Alexi Ogando on the mound after tough first inning, gave up a home run through 25 pitches. He settled down, pitched his normal game, 7 2/3. The Ranger offense came to life. Josh Hamilton drove in a couple. Beltre drove in a run with a single, then hit a home run. Elvis had 3 hits. Good night all around. Avoid the 3-game sweep, hit the road trip after a nice win tonight.
Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By Citibank. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Rangers win it 7-3. John Radigan at Rangers Live coming up next.